Hey guys, my name is Miska and welcome to HitScan.
I've just watched the opening ceremony, Overwatch 2 has been revealed, and I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. To begin with, this video will answer basically all the basics of Overwatch 2. What it means for current Overwatch, how things will and won't transfer, and what is basically the game, how it works, then the basic structure of that. Now, after those essentials out of the way, I will then talk to Jeff Kaplan later tonight, actually, I think in about 4 hours, not really tonight even, just this afternoon, and then have more questions answered then. So if you watch this video and you still don't know certain things you want to know about the game, ask me and I will ask Jeff. Let's get started. First off, team versus team. I think this is the number one question a lot of people had about Overwatch 2. So, Overwatch 2 will be a separate game. It'll be a new game that you buy, and current Overwatch players will be able to play with Overwatch 2 players in the team versus team mode. The team versus team mode is essentially the entire PvP aspect of Overwatch. It will include the new mode Push for even the current Overwatch players, and the new Overwatch players will be able to play with them even if they're on different copies of the game there. So that will kind of be a separate aspect in a way where you will be able to play all the maps and all the modes that are made for PvP. Second, you will also in this team versus team mode get future updates of these things. So that way the game sort of communities, I guess you could say, won't be split up, because everyone that has current Overwatch will keep that stuff and be able to keep playing that stuff, and they will keep getting support for it as well. Moving on from that, we of course have the co-op or story missions and all of those. So there's two aspects to these, and this is essentially what you get if you buy Overwatch 2. They will include main story missions. These are essentially you go to an area anywhere in the world. There's a few different ones. Rio, for example, that we've seen a lot of, and I'm sure you've seen gameplay of, and we will have gameplay of that too. Then per area and part of the world, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 missions, but probably more. Depending on the mission, you might be playing with a different setup of 4 heroes. Basically, different parts of the Overwatch squad will go to different parts of that same area and just have different missions. There'll be different difficulties for those missions as per usual as well. And you'll be able to use your talents and all of that stuff as you play there too. But it's basically a linear story. In addition to the new action-packed story missions, as they call them, we also have the replayable hero missions. These will be mostly based on current Overwatch maps. You saw a lot of them in the trailer, in the gameplay trailer that we saw for Overwatch 2, where, for example, Reinhardt had the hammer down, or I'm not sure if the hammer slam, or whatever they call the ability now, and all these new abilities and talents and so on that will go into that mode. So it will essentially be a way to reuse the current maps with the new PvE stuff and all of the new sort of characters and null sector characters to fight against. It won't just be a linear story thing, it'll be more like a game mode that you can compete in and sort of get bigger scores, better points, better times and all that stuff, and that's kind of what makes them replayable, and you level up your characters and you earn customization options like cosmetics and so on when you progress in that mode. This mode will also feature a bunch of new items. The items are as follows: healing station, turret, torp turret kinda with HP, corrosive grenade, shield fence, Orisa shield that is a complete circle around you. When picked up, each are another ability that you get, basically, that you can use with a 90-second duration. So each have their own rarities as well, from blue, purple to legendary, blue meaning probably rare, epic and legendary, with improved stats. The Rio map is fully purposed for PvE. It's not like a repurposed PvP map like the Archives events kind of are. And we're definitely going to be seeing more talents later on, but I want to show you some of those as well. Beginning here, we've got May, Shatter, frozen enemies shatter upon death, dealing damage around them, and Cold Snap, when Cryo Freeze ends, nearby enemies are instantly frozen. We saw that one in the trailer, that's for level 1. Level 10 for May is Hypothermia, Blizzard instantly kills frozen enemies under 200 health, and the Snowball effect, continue to move after using Cryo Freeze, knocking down enemies. Level 20 is Frostbite, frozen enemies take more damage, and Polar Vortex, Blizzard covers a huge area and ignores line of sight. Pretty powerful stuff. There's also a notable co-op change here at the top noted, with enemies are frozen faster and stay frozen longer, so that's interesting too, that they're kind of rebalancing and changing up the heroes quite a bit. just to suit PvE a little bit more. We've seen the Tracer talents before, so I'm not going to be covering those right now at least, but we do have Reinhardt with level 1 Fire Burst. Fire Strike explodes every time it deals damage, lighting nearby enemies on fire. Frenzy, Rocket Hammer swings faster and consecutive hits. Level 10 Impact Converter. Rocket Hammer damage recharges your barrier field, and also Amplification Field. Barrier field increases damage of friendly projectiles passing through it, so kinda like a Baptiste ultimate on Reinhardt's shield. Really cool stuff. Level 20, Baldrich Stand. Gain armor and damage when your barrier breaks. Baldrich, of course, being Reinhardt's old friend and captain and boss, I believe. And Fault Line. Earth Shatter does more damage in a narrower cone. Reinhardt's notable co-op changes are absorbing damage with barrier provides ultimate charge, movement speed increased while barrier is deployed, so that's very useful for PvE. Will just make it a lot more fun to play and just easier to get around. Lucius next, we have level 1 Healing Wave. Sound Wave heals allies for 25% of their maximum health. And Mashup, both songs play when using Amp It Up. Pretty sick. And level 10 Beat Matching. Damage dealt while using Speed Boost adds bonus healing to Healing Boost. And Fortissimo. God, that's quite the word. Each enemy hit by Sound Wave adds additional projectiles to your next Sonic Amplifier volley. We also have level 20 Accelerando. Critical hits reduce the cooldown of Amp It Up by 0.5 seconds. And Power Skating, Soundwave's damage and knockback scale up based on your forward speed. Lucius' notable co-op changes are Crossfade radius significantly increased, Speed Boost also increases allied attack speed, and knocking enemies into walls with Soundwave stuns them. A little bit like Doomfist there kinda. The final aspect of the game that the developers talk a lot about and that we've seen on the website and a lot of different places is the new look part. Overwatch 2 kind of changes a lot of the things that we already have and has the same sort of basic art style, but it's a brand new overall look and it's just a lot more detail, nice reflections and lighting and so on. Looks really, really good. And of course you have the character changes. Currently Lucio, Mercy, Reinhardt, Winston, Tracer, Genji and Mei all have their sort of new costumes or new kits revealed, but there will be more heroes later on, so yeah, when there's more to come we'll of course cover that stuff too on the channel, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. So those are kind of the three main areas to talk about, but other than that I want to of course mention the main question that everybody has, which is what happens with current Overwatch? Current Overwatch players will battle side by side with Overwatch 2 players in PvP multiplayer. They'll also be able to play Overwatch 2 heroes and maps. If you've already bought the game and you just want to keep playing PvP, you don't need to worry about it. If you're interested in PvE though, then Overwatch 2 is definitely worth picking up, it seems. You will also keep all your accomplishments and loot collections. They will be carried over forward to Overwatch 2. That means you'll keep your skins, player icons, sprays, emotes, and more. That's another question I've seen asked a lot already, so I figured I'd throw that in here to have that out of the way. Next, I want to go into the new team versus team stuff a little bit, as we have three new maps. We have Toronto, Monte Carlo, and Gothenburg. I was super hyped to see a Swedish map, finally. Torbjörn is from Gothenburg, and we've got a lot of Torbjörn and Ironclad Guild stuff around here. Gothenburg is looking absolutely fantastic and I'm really looking forward to playing that map. I imagine all these three new maps are all push. It would make sense because, well, you already have so many other maps with all of the other modes. I don't think we want another 2 CP map, so I'm more than happy to see more push maps there. We also have Toronto, of course. Here's a closer look at Toronto. We got these 3 screenshots for now, and hopefully we'll be able to get some good gameplay of that and more interesting information. Additionally, we of course have the last map, Monte Carlo. This is a really nice looking map as well. There's a lot of shots here, especially on this map, where you can really see the engine upgrades and changes that have been made and just how good the game looks now. Well, I guess this new game looks now. And yeah, just figured I'd show all of that off. Really impressive stuff. To give you some more details on Push, that is the new map type, game mode, whatever you want to call it. This is from the Play Overwatch website. In Push, a new symmetrical map type that will launch with Overwatch 2, teams battle to take control of a robot that begins in a central location, then push it toward the enemy base. Either team may take control of the robot at any time. The team that pushes the robot furthest onto the enemy side wins the game. So it is kind of the tug of war mode that a lot of us were speculating that it would be. This was also interesting. Under the maps, I read the following, that a bigger world. Take the battle to new iconic international locations, from the colorful streets of Rio de Janeiro to the scenic splendor of Gothenburg. New faces. Overwatch 2 will add new heroes to the roster, shaking up competitive play and creating opportunities for bold new strategies. We've of course seen Echo, we've seen Sojourn, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come in the future as well. Jeff said, much like I was speculating about in just, well, I think the other week, that we saw Sojourn and we saw Echo, but we didn't actually get any proper information or proper announcement around those characters. So that's what we've got right now. That's what Overwatch 2 is. We have the team versus team, which is the PvP aspect from Overwatch 1 essentially, that will continue and be expanded upon for Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1, being able to play together in a sort of cross-play thing. We have the co-op missions, which are story missions that are very fleshed out and interesting and kind of brings the story forward. And we have the replayable co-op missions, the hero missions, that will include the talents and all of that stuff as well. And just will focus more on replayability and gameplay rather than trying to bring in lore as well. It will be a new game, but I hope this video at least clears a lot of stuff up. Like I said, if you want to ask Jeff anything, put it in the comments below. That's everything for now. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.